Yeah, did very well. They jump up anyway. Yeah. Okay. So hang on. That's it.
We'll just do the shirt first, guys.
Never seen so many people in here.
Thank you. All right.
Times.
So as you've all been briefed, we'll do broadcast first, then we'll move into written, and then we'll break to do some photos outside, and then we'll conclude with radios and locals.
Yeah. Okay. You got too many cameras.
Roger, if you want to kick us off from start.
Sure. Hi, Ian.
Hi, Rog.
First of all, perceived wisdom is you should never go back. You obviously decided to go against that. Why?
Yeah, people have told me that a few years ago when I went back to Bristol Rovers and I met Chery Francis. So it's a no-brainer for me. How can I not come back to this place? How I feel about it. So, and luckily enough from my boss at Sky, I actually told him if QPR come back in, you might be in trouble. So, did I believe they would? Yeah, one day, and they have. So, hence I'm here. I couldn't turn this down, not in a million years.
You say it's a no-brainer. What is it about this club that meant that no matter what the situation, if they asked the question, you'd be back?
You could write a book on this, so I'll try and brief it down for you. I was 29 years old. My manager left. I thought he was brilliant. He actually taught me things. All I wanted to do was learn, and he taught me things that made me better. So he went up the road to his old club, QPR. Then I get a phone call. Do you want to come? I came up here. I had problems with my family, my daughters, and deafness, and all sorts of issues. But I came to this place when I was 29 years old, and he said, hopefully, you might not play, you'll rub off on people. So I ended up making my dream happen. And not only that, it was when I walked in the door, what the dressing room was like, what the lads were like, and my part in that, you know. We changed from, you know, I was a lower league player, like a lot of QPR, but they'd almost forgot that. So I had a huge part in making us as successful as we were, which was being honest and hard working, and, you know, not just a sort of superstar that QPR fans love, which is your flair players. I was a down-to-earth muck and nettles one, but I managed to play 150 times, although my manager told me I might not get a game. I think I did rub off on people, and it was the best days of my footballing life, you know, because it happened so I've actually achieved a goal. So that was a thing. And then obviously coming back here as a manager and going through, we were the first big club to have the word administration thrown at it. And so it was all new. I didn't know, I wasn't even told. And that's a story in itself. And the main reason really is I did it once with people who cared about the club, and I want to do that again right now. I feel that's absolutely vital for us. We've had a little spell where we were trying to buy the owners, we're trying to buy success, and you end up with people who don't care. Who all they care about is the wrong thing. They pick their money up and they don't wear that badge. So, you know, hopefully this fella next to me was one of those people who helped me the first time make everybody care. So, and when the thing you're doing it for is something that's burning in you, it shows. So luckily, I managed to put them back up where they were when I took over, on half the budget, 5.6 million down to 2.8, and that's a fact. And so to have another chance now, when we are in this situation, you know, is something I would have dreamed of, and I was dreaming of, and now I just cannot wait to get going. I've had 2 days, it feels like 2 months, because I feel like I'm here and I've been used to it, and bringing Mark back from where he's been is a fantastic fillet for me and for Les and for everybody at the club, because he knows the youngsters that I want to actually develop and bring through so well already. He's been here coaching them for years, so there's no such perfect job for anybody, but for me this is, I feel I'm already running, so that's why really.
Do you feel that there's a sense of, because of the way things ended last time, that you do have a sense of unfinished business here?
Without a shadow of a doubt. When you've sat down and you're told by someone as smartly dressed as you, who knows nothing about football, and says you've got to cut your cloth accordingly, those 5-year contracts those boys are on, we're going to offer them 25% of the 3-year deal. That's the maximum we can do. So if they had 5 years, it was only 3 years. All they were going to get was 25%. So he was going to do that. I wouldn't let him. He made me do it, but I wanted to do it. And I looked them all in the eyes. I had them all there. And all their dreams and their hopes were crushed on that day. I said, look, please try and take it as a positive. I believe you're good enough to get other jobs. But, you know, this QPR dream they had just died that day. And I'll never forget that. And that's why I believe this is so perfect for me to come back and the day I was waiting to sign this time, there was an under-23s game out there. They were 2-0 down. So I'm trying to talk to Les and Lee Hughes and be patient. And I kept half an eye having a look, and then we get one back, then we 2-2, and then we win 3-2, and one lad scored 2. So Les said, do you want to come down in the dressing room? I went, oh yeah, I'd love to. And the look I got, the little glimmer in their eye, particularly the one who scored 2, that's what I've been missing. Do you get what I mean? That's the magical bit of this. When I got in, when he came, if you can just rub off on him a little bit, that's what I want to do. And, you know, hopefully, I wasn't the most talented person, but I had good habits. And I try and get really talented people around me and then rub off on them a bit, because those people aren't always as determined as the one who hasn't got that ability. So hopefully I can make them play so well that their money is irrelevant. Done it before and I want to do it again here, because really it isn't about that. It's not about how much you're earning, it's about how much you care and how much better you're getting. So hopefully the people that we've got in the ground and in the club, they understand how I feel. I just met a couple down the road, Terry. She's 84. I just give her a big kiss and a big hug. She was all over me and Kim, you know, and it's just a real special feeling, and it has always been like that, because this club belongs to the people of this area, and we understand that.
You say you've got the sense of unfinished business, and you're so excited about this new challenge you've got. We've seen several managers come and go here in recent years. Do you feel the conditions are right at the moment for you to be able to come in and do and achieve what you want to achieve?
Yeah, I've been very vocal about, since Les has been here, and what Les wants to do. And I'm very aware now of, with Sky, being on outside broadcast, what a director's role is and what a producer's role is. So who am I? I'm the producer. Who's he? The director. And I understand how that links. And for me, it can't be any better than working with someone like Les. So I understand. He's going to help me immensely. He will help me immensely. And what I'm already getting into is so professional, and it's ready, and it's there, and I've just got to add to it. And it's ready for me to add to what I feel about these gentlemen that I've got, you know? And I've got some very different ways of doing things, because I try and make them take ownership of it, and I try and make them care about everything in their life and take responsibility, which is exactly the way you should do, which the way football is now, very different to 10 years ago, I'll tell you. And that's the biggest problem football people have, to make these players real people. On a level, grounded. That's my job. That's what I'm here to do. And the truth of that is the people I've worked with, the players, they'll tell you what I'm like. They'll tell you how I care about every one of them. Even the ones I'm not playing, I care about that much. And I think this is exactly what Les wants, his brief, because there's nobody who epitomises what Les was all about when I first came here. I saw him develop potential. He had the potential to be a superstar, and to try and get it out of himself wasn't easy. What you need is an environment, and we help create that environment for him to flourish. And he always stayed the same. He's a centre forward who was not selfish, like most of them. He would pass if it was on to pass, but he would also score, and he's a proper bloke who came from Hayes and Yedding. So what are we trying to do here? What do we need? Young, hungry, up for it people with a sprinkling of experience and the right type of characters. And then we'll all work that hard together to achieve what I believe I've done before and I want to do again. Nothing would make me prouder than to do it here, put this club back in the Premier League.
In terms of those achievements, then, you'll have sat down and talked to Les about what he wants to do. I mean, short-term and long-term goals. Have you got very specific goals in mind in terms of what you want this season and then a year from now, 2 years from now?
Well, this season I want to give them some TLC, a bit of love, and try and build a bit of self-belief. I think we've got some very, very talented boys. I think to get them into one team or one shape is a little bit difficult, if I'm actually being honest. We've got a lot of number 10s who would play that role really well. When you put them out wide, they're not really, you know, but that's for me to talk over. But I love the ability, the attitude they've shown so far has been so refreshing. Absolutely so refreshing. So, and I know the work that has gone on in the past couple of years to try and clear the slate a little bit of the mistakes we did make by trying to buy that success. You know, where do you stop with that? How much do you pay your right back if your midfield player's on a certain amount of money, your centre halves are on that money? How much do you pay your centre forward then? And to be fair, we were so reliable on Charlie Austin to score goals, you know, so hopefully I will have a chance to get into these people and try and get them free and enjoying trying to go forward and trying to score goals, and also try and be creative. That's what I want. So, you know, long term, I want to teach every aspect of football. I want to play them in all different positions in the academy. And when you read what we're all about, it's perfect. It's exactly what I want. Develop brilliantly balanced young men who will get into the first team because I will play them when they're good enough. I won't want to loan them out that often. If I can play them in my team, I won't block them up. So, you know, hopefully, and then short term, I know enough now to play different ways, to defend my way to a result, to attack my way to a result, to help people try and get some results in this very, very tough competition. And at the minute, we're 6 points from the bottom end, 6 points from the top end, and who knows what we can achieve. At the end of the day, it's goals, and I think we've got goals in the team, and I think we've got people who can score goals, and I'd like to try and change our stats at home 13 against, 7-4. It's not QPR.
Presumably,
go.
presumably the long-term goal, though, is to get the club back into the Premier League. You've set a target of maybe a time in the next year or two. What sort of targets have you set yourself?
Well, I know we will do it. It's just when. And I'd be stupid to say it's this year or next year or the year after, because what's the point of limiting yourself? You know, at the end of the day, I know that I've got Premier League methods. I got 39 points with the worst budget ever. I want to get 40 points in the Premier League one day, but to get there, I've got to earn the right to get there in this wonderful division. If you're going to ask me honestly, is there that many clubs that far ahead of us at this moment in our league against us? I think there's maybe 2, 3. Might be in a little bit of a better situation, really. But they're not brilliant, you know. I don't think they're infallible, you know. So the truth is, I know what I want to do. I don't know how long it's going to take, and I don't know how lucky we're going to be with injuries and suspensions and people coming back. And sometimes that is crippling if you lose the wrong couple of people at the wrong time, you know. So I want to share it out. I want people to share out the goal scoring responsibility. I want to try and outscore the opposition by 1 goal every game. I think that's quite a realistic philosophy to have. But long term, I want to play a way that is modern and is exciting, almost as exciting as I felt about England's performance last evening. Suddenly we can close down from the front. Suddenly we look a modern team, and he's only had them for 4 games, you know. So who knows? You know, the game's changing all the time. Can someone do a high press, overload an area to try and win it back with all their forwards and go and score? Can they sustain that to win the Premier League? Can they do that? Last year, without a doubt, counter-attack in team. Pace up front, sat in, boom. We know that can do it. It won't be sustainable though, because the more you haven't got the ball, the more they pass around you, the further you got to run. And if they're that good at passing, then you're in trouble, mate. I can tell you that now. And we were in a little bit of trouble last night. The longer that game went on, what was the score going to be? Let's be realistic. We were excellent for a while, but I'm telling you, the confidence that they have got and the manipulation of the ball that they have got, Bush gets what a player. And we want to create people like that with our habits. And habits are great. If you do it for 6 weeks and you ain't got a job anymore, that's not a habit, is it? I want to get them in good habits, and hopefully I can prove to the people here that I've got that personality, skill in abundance and patience, because when it goes wrong, I will be there for them.
Are you confident, though? I mean, you've got plans. You won't limit yourself in terms of time and when you want to get to the Premier League and so on, but are you confident that while you're putting your plans in place, you will be given time to establish yourself and get the team playing how you want to, get the club to where you want it to be?
I have to win games, young man. I have to win games, and I have to look like I'm winning games. If I'm unfortunate to deserve to have won a game and we lost, then hopefully I'll try and get another chance next week. But you have to earn that, right? And it's becoming more and more difficult in this crazy world we're in of football. I set Arsene Wenger as my target. Give me another 20 years here, I'll be absolutely over the moon. But I realise in the first 6, 7, 8 games, I've got to try and earn that. I'm not stupid, I understand. Steve Bruce summed it up the other day. Even with what he's achieved, 4 promotions, I've got 2. Missed out on 2 others. I've got 3 actually, but only 2 to the one that counts. Premier League. But I don't want to just get there, I want to stay there, I want to build, I want to do that. So I'm full of ambition, I'm full of hunger, and I think I've got a fantastic opportunity. I'm in the best state of my life to actually bring all my knowledge to the table, what I've learnt when it went right, what I've learnt, which is a lot more normally when it goes wrong. And I can't wait to have a fresh start. And a fresh start at your old club where you feel like you got your slippers on is just perfect.
If I can ask Mark, come back to...
Of course you can, I wish you would.
Coming back to his old club, I mean, did you need much persuading when the call came to be the first team coach alongside Ian?
No, not really. Not when it was from Ollie. Ollie coming back here, I always thought I'd be back here, probably not this soon after being out there, but when Ollie called me and wanted me back, it was, as he said, a no-brainer really, and just being back a couple of days, it feels like I haven't been away. Same people out at the ground and same feeling. QPR, as Ollie said, when it's in your blood, it's in your blood. It's a bit like your first love. They keep letting you down, but you keep coming back for more. Yeah, exactly, I know. Thank God. But yeah, no. Once it's in your heart, and it's in my heart, it's really hard to turn it down. Even though, if it weren't probably the best situation, you'd probably still come back. But on this time round, I know the squad. Been watching it even from out in America. I know the squad. I know it's a Ian Holloway type squad. There's no hangovers from the Premiership money days. We're in transition. Look, I know Ollie's done really well for that before. When the first time he brought me here was very similar. Money not as big as it was before. It's probably my luck always coming when the money's not as good as it was from before. But needs a spark. The club needs a spark. It's got a good squad. Like Les has assembled a good squad here, as he said, with good footballers. It just needs a tweak. And Ollie's the man. He's done it before. He's done it here at QPR. He's done it at Plymouth, where it's not the best budget. He's done it at Blackpool, where it weren't the best budget. And yeah, the lads are really confident, and it'll give the place a buzz. The fans, you can speak to them. Hopefully, we want a team that reflects us as people. And look, you might not win every game, but we got a certain way that we want to play, and we want to play with pride and passion. And hopefully, we can get that across to the players starting from Saturday.
And we've seen the club's had a lot of changes over the years and so on. It's the sense that bringing yourself back, Ian, with Les in position as well, you sort of brought it back round to Queen's Park Rangers. Is that what the club needs at the moment?
I think it was, and I think you look at it going back to the old type style badge as well. We've been in a place which isn't QPR. Like even when I was here coaching, we're spending big money on players, big contracts, chasing the Premier League dream, and that's not QPR. Anyone that knows us we're a working man's club. We're a club that players come to do well in their career, but if they want to get the big bucks, they move on to another club and get sold for millions. You shouldn't earn millions at QPR. And as we said, it's in a really good spot off the field. With Tony and the owners, they've got Les controlling it, and like we said, we've all got the club at heart first, not our personal gains, but the club at heart first. And it's exciting times personally and for the club.
And just Ian, just a couple of broader ones while we've got here. First of all, you touched on the England performance last night. It's 4 games for Gareth Southgate. Has he done enough to get the job full time? Is he the right man full time on what you've seen on these four games?
If I was them, I would have made a decision there and then to give it to him. I mean, he's been undermined for 4 games, if you ask me, by the way they behave. When I say they, I don't know who they are. The FA. I want someone who's going to be able to get our young lads and actually ground them and make them run harder than the opposition and not think they're better than them. And I saw that last night. I was very proud of what Gareth has done to make them play that way. I think we're learning from Pochettino and Jurgen Klopp the way they're bringing pressing into our country. And we've got to be open, but really what I want is an English way of doing it. That was a Spanish way last night, and the Spaniards are better than us, really. We did ever so well. We looked really exciting, the pace of the lads, and you know, and he's carried himself with real class. That's what I'm saying. But I don't think the FA have carried themselves with real class. Oh, we can take our time, and you know, what are we going to do next? Some Italian, some Swede. I'm not racist, but I want to be proud of England. So if our badges are that important and everybody wants them, why does everybody go to Wales and Ireland to get their badge? You know, because it's so hard to get here. It don't make sense. So for me, I would have given it him straight away. Would I have got rid of Sam on a newspaper scab? Probably not, to be honest. Sam could have made Gareth even better, because he could have looked and taught him. Because Sam could have done it all. So, you know, for me, it's a bit of embarrassment. It really is. I get tired by them. I want to take a foreign job somewhere. Do you think English football's looked on that well? Hang on a minute. Did you see the football I've played in my lifetime? Did you see how I beat Gianfranco Sola at Wembley when he had a better team than me? Didn't you see any of that? No, well, it doesn't matter, does it? Because the badge doesn't mean that much. Last night, I felt proud. We didn't do that the game before against Scotland. We were lucky against Scotland. But those lads last night lifted themselves. I want to see them like that every week. Or every time they're together. Any chance? What you should be like, isn't it? Seriously, but the best managers I've felt in that job have been hounded out. Glenn Hoddle. Hounded out. Because he thought about trying to get the lads to think in a different way. Hounded out. What was her name? Do I need to mention it? Is it Jury or something?
Eileen.
Apparently he's a freak and he's, religious. It don't make sense. Sir Bobby Robson. It's just mad. Graham Taylor, look what happened to him. He had almost a turnip on his head, didn't he? I mean, what are we doing? Honestly, what are we doing to our own game? What are we actually doing? And Gareth, well done, son. You actually took that almost insult. Oh, we got 4 games. One of them's a friendly. I mean, good God, we're going to take our time to do what? What have you been doing, any one of you? Who are you? That's how I feel. So now, give him the job. Christ's sake, what more do you want him to do? Did he have to win 2-0? And we could all go, aren't we great? What happens when the tournament comes? He's already won one. I want him to stay in the under-21s and learn a little bit more to protect him, really. He don't just need that job. He needs protection from everybody who's going to absolutely slaughter him. Because that's what happens.
I was going to ask, I mean, you say you should have been given the job first time round. He's had to go through these 4 games.
Do you understand? Never mind that. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not that he should have been given the job. They undermined him by saying he's only got 4 and we're going to think about it.
Do you worry for him now that if he gets it now, not just worry for him, but worry for maybe what lies ahead for him, and you say that other managers have been hounded out, they've been slaughtered?
No, I worry about me. I worry about him. We got to win. And I can't wait for our game, But you're asking me about my own country and what...
I've given up on them. That's fine. They've let me down too much watching them.
No, I got to say, my builder mate, Paul, last time I said, oh, did you watch England? So I turned off. Not this game, it was the one before. And he went, I said, you what? Oh, I couldn't watch it. He turned over. And he is the biggest England supporter you've ever seen in your life. He turned over. It's just wrong, isn't it? So, I'm not being funny. I could sit here for years on end and go, oh, hang on a minute. Oh, yeah, well, if I got the FA behind me, because I could, well, I don't know what happened there, but we can just take our time this time. And who are they? So, front up and see what you're doing. Is it working? Because what is our style? I know what the Spaniards do. The Germans, how clever are the Germans? They've actually nicked Guardiola a couple of years ago, picked his brains, put it into their Mr. Jurgen Love, and look at their team. Hammered Brazil in a different way. They've learned. For me, we're an island, and we look at our island, and we haven't got a neighbour. We don't look over anybody's fence, see what they're doing, and then adapt. We don't. We need to. Oh, that's a nice bush. That's a nice tree. Oh, yeah, we'll have that in ours. That's what we need to do. And the last time we did it, I think our whole football philosophy at the FA has been sorted out, and it hasn't worked. Academies, I've had a load of academy players. All they want to do is get in your first team, and if they don't, they get a bad attitude. Don't work. Yeah?
Well, the Football League have been talking about restructuring in a way that maybe in the future help develop footballers and so on, and help the national team. But those plans have come to an end. Appears to have been they couldn't come to an agreement with the FA about rescheduling FA Cup matches into the. I mean, what's your take on that? It's only just come out this afternoon, this news. But what's your initial reaction to the fact that those plans have stalled?
Keep looking. You got to keep looking. If I watch one game stopped trying to learn, I don't know if that's any good. I'd never learn anything, would I? We got to keep the dialogue going, because we have to keep moving forward. And if all the other countries are actually doing these lesser games and breaks, we got to try and do that to give our lads a chance. Do we actually want to win something? Do we? I'd love to see and be as happy as my dad when he was carrying me out in the street and I didn't know what was going on. I was only 3. I was 3 years old being thrown around with a bloke that's never been so happy in his life. Turns out, I remember that was the day we won the World Cup. I want to feel like that. I want to have those memories, you know, and we got to sort ourselves out to do it. So the FA should be looking, and the Football League should be looking at to try and keep the dialogue going. You don't just close it down. No, I'm not doing that. Boom. That's wrong.
Thank you.
Ian, welcome back.
Thank you.
First of all, obviously you've spent some time outside of management over the last year or two, doing a lot of work in the media and working as a pundit. Is it fair to say that it's given you a new perspective on the game? You sound incredibly refreshed and raring to go.
I've been honoured. I really have. I felt it's the first time in my career I was wanted by top of the league team. I talked about my pride of playing here and finishing 5th. We lost to Swindon twice that year, and I was fuming because we could have possibly finished 2nd. But so I've never really won anything like that. So to get asked by Sky to be on a contract to go and do this, and asked about how I felt about the EFL as it now is, was a privilege. And the fellow I met to do it, Gary Hughes, was an inspiration to me because he's only 41, probably 42 now, but he was so fresh-faced and so full of enthusiasm for the game and what he wanted, and he just lost the Champions League. So he was talking to me about, this is a perfect time to get the EFL. We've got 72 more games, and someone like you would be brilliant if you could. So I didn't know. I said, well, I'll tell you what, let me come and have a look and see how it's done, and I don't want to do the first couple. And so he stood me in the back of the truck, the OBs they call them, outside broadcast. So I'm in the back of that, seeing it all work, and it's just unbelievable. Absolutely brilliant. The line of command was so clear, so crisp, so everybody had to do one job instead of doing about 4 or 5. So it's been fantastic, an absolute honour. And on top of that, then I did the 10 in 10. 10 games in 10 days, and we had to try and sleep on a bus, and we were getting bussed everywhere. And because I was a neutral, the reception I got and the feeling Kim and I got from all the supporters of every club was, and it was Christmas as well. That's probably the one time when everybody's not quite so selfish. Starts to think about buying someone else a present, you know. So it was a wonderful spirit, and that'll stay with me for a long time for lots of reasons. Hey, Kim. Some of them were not good, and a scar of trying to go a toilet on a bus that you got to think about what you're doing because only one's allowed. It's just not good, really. But anyway, let's not go there again. She's laughing. She's going like that. Yeah, that means I got to change tack. What I'm saying, it's been absolutely sensational. And this year, Gary said to me, "What do you feel?" And I said, "Well, I'm fed up of waiting for how important the championship is to see the only show that shows all the goals, and they split it." I said, "Any chance we could do a championship, quick hit, over in about half an hour?" And he put me on that show. I couldn't believe it. He said, "It was your idea, I've done it." And he made it happen. And so in that sort of genre, you can create anything you want. And it's quite amazing. I could also see the pressure we were creating on managers, to be honest. And I could also see managers, I could tell by their faces, who weren't winning. So you could ask me why I'm back here. I just can't help it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just something that, when you're the type of person I am, I'm busy. And I have to be in someone's life and trying to affect them. And I still missed a lot of the crowd in this year, really, by being in the studio. Do you know what I mean? Going to those games, going to those grounds, and even if I got sticky, it didn't matter because it was great, and I probably missed that. So that's why I'm so fresh.
And you were here for the last home game, the one against Brentford as well, I think, Ian. Is that right?
I didn't see that one.
Okay, but obviously you've had the chance to come to Loftus Road working for Sky, and you've had the chance to see what it's like from the outside. When you're talking to Tony and to Lee and to Les about what you can bring to this club, has that given you a sense of perspective in terms of saying to them, these are the things that I've seen from the outside that maybe you need to look at?
No, I could only talk about how I felt about this. Every time I've come back here, it just, it's like a wonderful, gotta get this right. It's like a wonderful review of your life. You know, you walk in, it's like a wonderful record that you heard sometime when you were growing up and you loved it, and the second you hear it, it takes you right back there. Well, every time I've walked in this place, it's taken me back to some wonderful memories, some bad ones as well. You know, really some bad ones as well. Can't argue with that. When we lost 4-0 here to Cardiff, and some lady threw me her season ticket, said, I can't repeat what she said, but that was the last home game of the season, and she threw me her season ticket. Dear, yeah. They're clever around here. But it was, no, I've had some marvellous times because it's real. And what we had to go through then was real. I mean, I like to take responsibility for things in my life, even if it's not my fault. I like to see how it feels and wear that either hair shirt or shiny jacket. And really, this club and coming back here, I can't even describe how it feels. It's in you, and I could never get that feeling in my last job because they knew I never played for them. No matter what I said, no matter when we stayed up that first year, winning 8 out of the last 9 games, it was unbelievable. We'd only won 7 all season before, but they never got me, I don't think. Do you know what I mean? And I understand that. You know, hopefully they'll get Neil because Neil's one of them. You know, and that's fine. He was one of them, so they probably accepted him more than me. You know, I think that's just football. So what I want to do is try and tell the truth to our supporters, tell the truth to our players, and make us all unite as one, because that's what happened for me at Blackpool. This is the best trip we've ever been on. That's what I used to sing every week, because I was brave enough to try and play in an entertaining way. And we would lose, but you know, that's part of life. You have to deal with losing. If you look at probably the 2 best interviews I've seen in my whole management career and my whole media career was Rafa Benitez, first 2 games this season. Oh, well, we weren't very good today. We'll be okay. Calm. Steve Bruce, yeah, I'm going to have to win, but calm. What have I got now? Still got my passion, but I'm calm. Can't wait to, and I ain't got to do that much, to be honest, apart from think and how to get my points over and concentrate on what the team's going to do. Then I can look at the overall picture of where we're going to go, what are they learning, how are we doing. I've got every single club in the bag that I would ever need here, whereas before I ended up with a putter and a 7-iron.
Mark, turning to you for a moment.
Yeah.
You've obviously been working in America for the last period of time. You've worked with Ian at Millwall, you've worked with him here at Loftus Road. You've said already that you got the call from Ian and you just couldn't wait to come back. But was there a part of you thinking that, you know, obviously things were going well in America? Was it difficult to make that decision in some respects?
No. I was trying to lighten myself, saying, yeah, I could stay out there. And I probably would have, this was the only job I would have come back for. It was great out there. The football was good out there, life was good out there, but it's QPR and Ian Holloway, so I didn't have to think too long. As I said, any other job, I probably wouldn't have come back. But knowing where the club is at the minute and what they need, it points every way to Ian and what he can do to them. So, and what Ian's great at is if he's got the right squad and the right type of players, he gets a squad wanting to play for him. The same as us when I played here. Whether you was playing or not, you would want to die for him on the pitch, and that's what we need to bring in. I think that's what Ian can do, and look, with the coaching, if we can do that with him, it'd be perfect.
But having that time away from English football, as Ian was saying, looking over somebody else's fence, so to speak, presumably there are ideas and thoughts that you've had while coaching in America that you'll be able to bring back to England with Queen's Park Rangers. Yeah,
definitely. And coaching a different continent, different types of playing. I coached the Canadian youth teams as well, playing against other countries. You play against different tactics, different type of players you would here. And luckily in America, we get more live games over there than they do here. So I've seen more championship games over there than when I did here. But yeah, just as a coach, look, it's going to help you going abroad and coaching, and to come back here. that we know what we want to do, that we're focused, so hopefully we can do that.
He also turned down another job.
Really?
Yeah, Donald Trump's personal advisor.
Hairstylist.
There's still time for that. Last one from me then, to both of you really. Obviously, it's a time now with Les at the top of the club, yourself, Ian back as manager, Mark in as coach. I believe you may be looking to add to that coaching staff as well, Ian. But is there a message too, as well as that, you'd like to give to the Queen's Park Rangers fans?
Thanks, really. Thanks. Thanks for how you supported me when I was here before. Thanks for how you helped me with Birch. Thanks for caring about this football club like you do. And I'll tell you, if it's down to what a club means to you as to who should be the manager, then you've just appointed the right bloke, I believe. And the thing is, what I've realised is that you can't do anything on your own in life. And where I am in my life right now, I can't wait to try and help other people get better, you know, because that's what life's all about. It's not where you start, it's where you're going to end up. It's not where we get a player from, it's where we can take him to. Because the main fella who made me want to give up the number I had going in my old place was Les. The enthusiasm of Tony is immense. Really, it was Les. Lee Hughes is a wonderful man, but Les epitomises this football club to me. Someone who's full of potential, who was struggling for a bit, who actually began to shine. And he shone so brightly, he ended up playing for England and scoring goals for Newcastle in front of that mighty horde, if I can say it that way, you know. And he wants to protect this place. He wants to nurture it, and he wants to love it, and he wants to care it, and I'm tingling with the sense of well-being that we've all got about this football club. So, you know, what more can I say to QPR fans apart from Peterborough away, we lost 4-1, and their crowd was singing to all of us, "You're not famous anymore." I think that was my darkest ever day. You're not famous anymore. And I had a taxi driver go mad at me, so I brought him in and showed him the team, and he talked through it for 2 hours, and in the end I said, well, he's not fit, you can't pick him, he's injured, you can't pick him, he's suspended, you can't pick him. So he picked the team that I just picked myself. So I said, well, that's the team I just picked. He went, no it isn't. I said, it is, and you're moaning at me for picking that team. He went, oh yeah, I didn't realise. But you don't realise when you're so passionate that you want your team to make you a little bit happier today because you want to win. You can't always win. Have a look at the competition. Right? Are they ahead of us a little bit? Whether they should be or not, there's a few. But that's never bothered me in a race.
Last couple? Sure. Warren Elford from ITV News. You talked today about culture. Now I want a question about success and what it feels like. You very famously said when you were last here, success for the team could be compared to a night out enjoyed by some of the players. What comparison would you use this time to say what success would look like this season?
You're wrong there, young man. You haven't watched it on YouTube well enough. And fancy you bringing up the worst interview I ever gave. I gave that interview to protect one of my players. He was having terrible trouble with alcoholism, gambling. And I was asked about 15 million questions about why he wasn't playing. And I couldn't tell you, and I wouldn't tell you, and I wasn't allowed to tell you, so I protected him with a bit of humour. Because we won 3-0, but we were awful. They should have scored 4 in the second half. So what I described was a team talk I might give to lads who might understand the point I'm trying to make. When it goes out viral, it sounds like I'm not serious. I'm in charge of a multi-million-pound business, I can assure you, and I can't wait to tell my team. And the quicker I can get my points across, they should be private. But I shared it with people because I lost the plot a little bit, and I opened up because I wasn't concentrating enough. So it wasn't about that at all. And believe you me, ladies play that game as well, if they go out on a night these days, because the world's changed. All right? And I've had to apologise to my wife for that statement over and over again, because I would never have dreamed of behaving in that way. Okay? So that's a long time ago, and if you want to see it, go on YouTube. I don't particularly want to see it. I had hair then, and it upsets me.
Success this season, then?
Success this season is right now. I've got success. I've got the chance. And when you are in charge of it, you are the man who can make a difference. And that's all I want to do. And one of the best interviews I've ever seen, personally, was the other evening. And it was Barack Obama, whether you like him, loathe him or what. I thought he was a genius, what he said, when I watched his programme on it. I'm going to pick up the baton, which is QPR. And I believe in that baton, and I believe in ways that I want it to look like and do. I believe my bosses, my very close boss, believes in that as well, and he wants me to do it. So I'm going to run, and I'm going to run so hard and so fast and so well that I'm going to be worn out, and I'm going to give it every single bit of me. And when it's my turn to hand that baton over, this club is going to be in a much better place than it is right now. Just like I did last time, son. And I can't wait to start running. Because I could do a lot of things, and I knew my limitations. So when I got it, I give it to Ray Wilkins. When I got it, I give it to Clive Wilson. I was lucky. I give it to Andy Sinton. You know, I was lucky. And one game, I give it to Les, and he beat 5 players and scored, and everybody said, what a great pass off. But what they knew, I would never give up. No matter what score, no matter how it ended, I would never, ever give up trying. So that's what I'm going to give back to QPR people. That fair enough?
Okay, if we can turn the cameras off, do the written press, just want to huddle.